Ciao Aldina, come stai? Aspetto più gente a vedere i miei video. Hello there. I'm just waiting for a few other people to come online and then I'll start the presentation. Hi, Pam. I am super, super nervous. I don't know why. I've taught so many times in different places, but there's something about doing something live on camera that's very intimidating to me. So I hope I don't make a fool of myself here today, but we're just going to wait another minute or two and then I'll get started. Hi, Melanie. Can you guys hear okay and see okay? This should be available for replay if I don't screw it up. So for anybody who doesn't catch it live, they can see it later if I don't pull it off of here. Okay. Hey, Patty. Okay, so people are starting to come on, which is encouraging. I watch so many of these live broadcasts from other jewelry instructors, and they're so well polished. They have great cameras and audio, and I'm always worried that I'm going to knock the camera down. I'm just working off of my phone. So, you know, it is what it is. So if I get comfortable with this and it works okay, then I may check out some other possibilities. But for right now, this is as good as it gets. So, oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Melanie. Thank you. Hi, Francesca. She's the one who put me up to this. Well, not really, but she's given me the encouragement to do it. So, yeah, okay. I loved your presentation just a little bit ago, Francesca. It was really good. Answered some questions. I'm guilty of some of the things that you were talking about, so I'll have to be better about that. Okay. Well, let's see. I guess I'll just start my thing. I'm going to show how to make, or at least begin, a chainmail bracelet in the Byzantine pattern. There's a multitude of different chainmail patterns that you can do, and I generally make this stuff from start to finish. I start with sterling silver wire. This particular one is 18 gauge, and that's what I use primarily for jump rings. Sometimes I will use 16 gauge for a little heavier weight bracelet. I did have one made in 16 gauge, and for the life of me I can't find it. I have no idea where I put it. I really do hope I find it. Hi Sally, nice to see you here. So anyway, the jump rings start out as sterling wire. You can also make them out of copper, which I like equally well. And this is a better view of the project that I'm going to attempt to show you how to make. This is the Byzantine pattern, and it takes about an ounce of sterling silver jump rings, give or take a little bit. I guess it depends on what size and what weave you're making, but I generally cut all my jump rings ahead of time. I have a little container full of them actually, and I can just pull whatever I need, whatever I decide I want to make. So I don't know how many people have done chainmail before, if you are absolutely brand new to this, or if you're a seasoned chainmail maker. If you are, please be kind. So I'm going to show you a few of things that I've made in the past. I'll start with that while we're waiting for more people. Thank you, Francesca. Okay, I'm going to lower the camera, and I hope that you can see this okay. These are made with different metals. I've got, this was my most recent. This was a project Francesca Watson had over on her page, and I love that, by the way. It's very beautiful. And there's other ways that you can use the jump rings. This one is with crystals, and that's a real pretty one. Very sparkly. Sometimes I'm not sure if it turns around too much or not, but it really is a very pretty one. And then there's another one that incorporates crystals. That's kind of cool. You can also make matching earrings like that. It's kind of a big one, but you know, if you like big drop earrings, that's kind of a nice choice. This is another fun one. This one I love a lot. This is a shaggy loop. Very simple to do. It doesn't look like it, but it really is. But it's kind of fun. It's jingly, and I absolutely love this box clasp. Kind of like the Tree of Life there. That's a pretty one. And also with that shaggy loop, you can make matching little earrings that are kind of fun. I don't know, there's different ones. These, I tried aluminum. I wanted to try aluminum. This was probably about 8 or 9 years ago that I did these. I don't like aluminum, but it was something I wanted to try. And it actually makes, if I did this in sterling, I would like it a whole lot better. But it's a nice substantial bracelet. And then these are also aluminum, and you can incorporate different colors in there. That's kind of a fun one. And then I've got copper ones. I like copper a lot. I use it a lot in my work. And this is a very simple pattern as well. That, and there's another style. This is, I think, the barrel style. They work up pretty fast. And right now, because I'm having a brain fart, oh, here's some shot. I can't remember what this is, but this was kind of a fun one too, with the little balls on the side. And Okay, so that's kind of like a little smattering of the things that you can do. There are absolutely tons of chainmail books available. There's this probably, is this backwards to you? I don't know. I can't tell if you're going to see it backwards or not. This chainmail, classic chainmail, is one of my favorite books, but I kind of think it's discontinued. I'm not certain, but there's also another one, the second book. This one I know is still available. This is by Sue Ripsich. And anyway, you can check out on Amazon or whatever for lots of different books on chainmail if it interests you. So let me see if I have any questions. Where did the Tree of Life class come from? I bought those at a trade show, gosh, probably 10 years ago in Chicago. And I don't remember. Oh, okay. It's backwards. Okay. I don't remember the vendor. I'm sorry. It's just too long ago. But anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful box clasp. And that was one of the other things I wanted to mention about the Byzantine that we're going to do today. Well, you could do it to any of them, but some people feel more secure by using a lobster claw or lobster clasp on their work so they don't lose it. And it's a very good closure, but it's kind of boring. So I kind of like to add, pretty box clasps to them. There's some that have crystals in them. They're really pretty. It really does dress up a piece when you have that. Here's where's this other one? Oh no, I had that one already. Here with this green on here. I think that's really a pretty one. So this actually is a pattern that I kind of made up myself. I only made one because it drove me crazy, but I do have it, so I was happy. No water. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you know what? Whatever I put out here for people, you could do whatever you want with it. If you want to make the exact same thing I made, I have no problem with that. Some people get really kind of their shorts in a bunch when people do that, but of course this is a whole nother discussion, so I guess I won't go there. But yeah, I mean, feel free to make whatever I make. And if you make something that's out of a book, you should probably give credit to whoever you found the instructions from. That's the nice thing to do. Okay, so anyway, let's see. All right, so when you are making chainmail, you need a couple of essential things, and I'll start first with pliers. You need, I believe you need 2 pairs of flat nose pliers. And if you do this sort of thing a lot, you should get a pair of good pliers. Good, they're fairly expensive, but they're worth it because your hands get fatigued. And if you have good pliers, it's good. They pay for themselves just in your comfort. All right, so you need 2 pairs of flat nose pliers. You need jump rings. I figure you need about, like I said before, about 1 ounce of silver cut into rings, and you need to open them up. I'm going to put you down here. Let me know if the camera is not at a good angle. I don't know what else I can do, but so far, if it's okay, just let me know. Okay, so anyway, you're going to have all your jump rings, and the first thing that you need to do is open them. And if you don't know how to open a jump ring, I will show you. I have to put my eyes on here. You're going to take your flat nose pliers on either side of the little split that's in the ring. Okay, and when you're opening the jump ring for this purpose, I'm just going to pull one side back just a little bit, just twist it back just a little. You don't want to pull it so much that you distort it, but you want to have it open enough so that you can insert this into other rings. Okay, so this is the biggest, most boring part of this bracelet, is opening up all the jump rings. But you need to have those opened up before you get started, because it's just a pain to pick one up, open it, put it on, pick another one up, open it, put it on. So I just open a big pile of them, have them right in front of me, and I use a T-pin, just something like this. That'll be useful in just a little while. Or an awl. If you have an awl, you can also use that instead of a T-pin. And then a twist tie, like from a loaf of bread, or from the rolls of wire from Rio. They always put these little blue twist ties on there, and I save them because I use them for purposes just like this. Okay, so let's see. Is it okay? It was a good angle. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. All right. So here we go again. All right. So the first course of business is to start with 2 closed jump rings. Now, if your jump ring isn't closed all the way, and most likely it's not, you need to take your pliers and put them on each side of the split, and you're going to give it, can you see that? You give it a little wiggle. You're going to wiggle your jump ring, but as you're wiggling and trying to close it, you're going to give it like a slight inward pressure that you want to close that gap. You don't want to see any daylight through your ring. You don't want to be able to really to see where that gap is, where that split is, I mean. You should also feel it and make sure that it's nice and smooth. If it's rough, then you don't have it closed properly. So if you have a difficult time closing it and getting it nice and tight like that, you can actually overextend your jump ring. Just pull it over a little bit further and then pull it back, and it generally snaps right into place. I don't know how clear that is for you, but that's what you do. So you need 2 closed jump rings to start with. And in this pattern, we're working in 2s all the way along. So I've got my 2 closed. Then I thread on a little twist tie. Just to give me, I only use this because it just gives me a little bit more to hang on to, especially when you're first starting out. So then I'm going to pick up an open jump ring, pass it through the 2 closed ones, close the jump ring, pick up another one, close that jump ring. Now I have 2 sets of 2, okay? And I'm going to add a 3rd set. So you're going through the last set that you just put on. Okay. Okay, so now I have 3 sets of 2. Now with the Byzantine pattern, you're always going to work in 3 sets of 2. So with the 3rd set, I'm going to hold it in my hand and lay those top 2 to the side. And when I do that, the 2nd set of 2 is kind of standing upright. You can see that. And I want to separate those 2 that are standing upright. And this is where I'm going to use my pin or my awl. That close back up. And these 2 rings that are laying off to the side, I want to grab the inside of those 2 rings with my pin. So I'm going to grab one side and grab the other, and there is how it's supposed to look right there. And then I'm going to hold on to that. Now, I don't really need to hold on to it because I've done this so many times, but for somebody who's just starting, they don't want to lose their place. So a good idea is to just kind of keep that pin there and grab your next jump ring, and you're going to insert that jump ring right where that pin is. You're grabbing, well, this is going to be in my way. Okay, so you're grabbing those two. You're actually grabbing the two that were on the second set. This is the confusing part, but once you get this, it makes everything just so much easier. It might take you several, I don't know, several tries to really get the concept, but once you get it, so I'm putting the second ring, because we always work in twos, putting the second ring in right next to that one. Okay, so now, get my pin again here and show you. Okay, so now this is where we're at. Can you see that okay? Okay, so now we're going to start with our threes again. That actually becomes, what I just put in there becomes the first set of two for the next set of three. Confusing, I know, but you can play this back as many times as you want, and hopefully it will be helpful if you're having a hard time with it. Okay, so I'm going to close that up. I'll check for questions in just a minute, because I can't do that when I've got the camera tilted down. Okay, the second one of the second set. Whoop. And the second one of the third set. Okay, so here we are again. So you can see, hopefully, that there's 3 sets of 2 added. Now we're going to turn this back. We're at that top part. We're going to turn those down to the side. Going to open those other 2 rings. And insert the pin, and we grab that. Okay, can you see that okay? Okay, now I'm going to add my next 2 rings. Seriously, once you get the concept down, you can make one of these bracelets in about an hour to an hour and a half once you've got all your jump rings open, because that takes a little while. But depending on the size that you're making, it's real possible. I've done it many times where you can get a whole bracelet done in about an hour to hour and a half. Okay, so this is what I would call a one section. If you can see that okay. All right, now I'm going to flip the camera up and talk to you guys for a minute to make sure that you're seeing everything, and then I'll continue. I'm not going to do the whole bracelet because it would be boring. It would be really boring for you to watch the whole thing because it's a repetition. That's all chainmail is it's a repetition of a pattern till you get to the end. And you know, once you get the concept, you'll have to do it. Now, okay, so what Ciao, Luana. Okay. I've got some of my cousins from Italy watching the broadcast, so that's kind of cool. All right, let's see. All right. Oh, Melanie, I feel like I'm back in your studio in Griffith. That was so much fun. I had that studio for 5 years, and I really miss it. There are days that I really miss all the camaraderie that we had, and especially now with this COVID business. Uh, you know, I feel so isolated here. I would love to have people over and resume classes and stuff, and it's just I can't do it. I mean, nobody can do that right now. So it's just going to be the way it is, and that's why I've been watching other people doing these live broadcasts, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe should I do it? I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Actually, I'm sweating buckets right now, and I don't know why. I've done this stuff a million times, but like I said earlier, I think it's just the live aspect of it, and if I stutter or forget something or misname something, it's like, oh, then kind of feel like a bozo. But anyway, let's see. Are these jump rings you cut up or purchased? I cut them all. I have a jump ring making system, and I found that that's the most efficient way for me since I use so many. I do make kits. Kits can be available. I mentioned it, I guess, last night in my Facebook post, that if you're not a jewelry maker and you think that you want to try doing something like this, I can cut you the jump rings. You will have to pick up a couple pliers for yourself. All you need really is the 2 pairs of pliers. You need the jump rings, of course, and a closure, but I would make sure that you have a closure with your jump rings. And a bead mat or a dish towel that doesn't have a high nap on it, just so that your rings don't get stuck in the loops of a nap. But yeah, it's totally doable. But if anybody is interested in that, you can message me after the broadcast. But if you're already a seasoned jewelry maker, I'm sure you have most of the tools or the availability of the silver. And I've just found it's more cost effective if you're going to make a lot of jewelry like this to have the jump ring maker, and it pretty much pays for itself over a little bit of time. Can I pull it closer to the table so it's less blurry? Okay, well, I'm when you're talking, are you talking about when I have the camera down like this? When I'm showing the jump rings and my let's see. I don't know. I mean, you guys need to tell me if you'd be so kind, so that way I can work out whatever bugs could be in there. Were you able to see me work with the chainmail to actually put the chainmail in the weave? I don't know. I was trying to photograph individual pictures of the steps with me, and I'm just working off my phone camera, so I can't get the close-ups that you really need. And then I was looking at my fingernails, and it's like, oh my God, they're horrible, because not only am I a jewelry maker, but I also like to dig in the yard, in the garden. So my hands are not the nicest cosmetic-wise, but most jewelers' hands aren't. So I guess I'm not going to worry about that too much. But okay, so I'm going to go back to put some more on there. I haven't seen any other questions. I hope if it's blurry, if you're having a hard time seeing what I'm doing, please put a message up there so that the next time I stop, I can address that. Okay, so I left my pin in where I was at. And now I've started, I'm going to be starting the next unit or next section. So I've got 2 up, and I'm going to, here I am, pass those in there. Give a little twist and a little inward pressure. And this is also the reason I use the flat nose pliers. First off, you have a little bit more surface for your jump rings to rest on and to work with. But if you're using chain nose pliers, those have a point on them. And when you are adding your jump rings, if anyone has ever experienced that other than me, when you're doing that little inward pressure, you can slip and really poke your finger with those. You can do it with these too, but it seems like those chain nose pliers really get you. Okay, so now I have the second set of 2, and I'm going to put the third set of 2. And that's where we are going to turn those top 2, the last 2, fold them to the side, open up the second 2, and then grab the inside of those 2. You see? Am I too close? Maybe I'm too close. Okay. Ooh. And now I'm going to catch those on the inside there and close. And grab my second one. Okay. And as you're working, you need to kind of stop and assess what you've just done and make sure that you are following the pattern correctly, because it's kind of easy to lose where you're at if you're thinking about other stuff. Closing that. So, and what I mean by that is making sure that you have them spaced properly. Sometimes it's easy to lose track of where you're at, and you'll fold back the second set of rings instead of the third. And that in itself isn't so bad if you were going for that type of pattern. But if you don't realize that and then continue on and make, you know, another set of 3, then you're going to kind of be off balance. Your pattern will be off balance. So it's best to just stop and look at it and make sure that everything's in the right orientation before you get too far. Or sometimes you put 4 sets of 2 on there and then pull it back, and then you get the same basic mistake in your pattern. Okay, so now that is the third set of 2. I'm going to fold those to the side, open this side up. Maybe I'm too close. Okay, and then grab, gotta open that up. Okay, grab that in the middle. Okay. Now, some people might say, oh my gosh, I don't have the patience for that. But you know, I was never a very patient person. But when I started doing this kind of stuff, I developed patience, at least for this kind of stuff. I'm still kind of short on patience with other things, but for this, it's really helped me a lot. It's helped my well-being, my mental health. I can't tell you how much. Oh, I missed my place. I have flying jump rings. Okay, let's try that again. Make sure you grab both of those inside rings. Give it a little wiggle and close. Okay, so that starts your set of 3, the ones that you just inserted in the middle. Okay, so you just keep going on like that. You just are going to do that the entire length of your bracelet as you're going all along. And say if you need a 7-inch bracelet or whatever, you figure out you're going to need a little bit of room, maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch for your clasp, and you just allow for that. These also make cute little earrings too. But if you make earrings with the Byzantine, when you have the 2 rings that are going to be at the end, what I like to do is hang a little dangle off of that, like a little, either a crystal or a little silver ball or something down at the bottom, and it hangs real cute. So that's pretty much it, really. I mean, it would be really boring to do this for the entire bracelet, but just so that you get the concept. Oh, here it is in copper. This is really pretty. I use these a lot. Here's another, I feel like, oh, squirrel. I saw these. This is another one. This is called a Celtic line. Also in these patterns, I mean, Byzantine is pretty straightforward. I mean, that's the name that everybody will call it, the Byzantine. But there are lots of different patterns that people name them differently. I don't know why. I don't know if they've done some variation on them or not, but from all the books that I've looked through, a lot of them look pretty much the same, and they give them different names. But there's a lot of cool stuff out there. So I hope that you got something out of this, and I hope I didn't embarrass myself too much. But if you'd like to see some other videos in the future, just let me know. I do a variety of different things. I do a lot of multimedia jewelry making. I like to work with, well, chainmail, of course, metal clay. I like metal coloring with alcohol inks and other patinas. Etching. Etching was the next one I was thinking about doing, and then maybe doing some colorizing of the metal afterwards. Not really sure how I can make that class without it being such a horrendous mess and length of time, but I would think it's possible. And if there's something that you'd like me to do and show you, I'd be more than happy to. So I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on Facebook. Thanks. Bye-bye.